Welcome back to the Safety Roadmap Podcast. Today, we'll be touching on a topic that's often brought up by those looking to secure their workplace from hazards and care about health and safety.
Ever get that feeling, where you're looking at a whole bunch of stuff in another language and you're just like, where do I even begin?
Yeah, totally. It can feel like you're missing a key code or something.
Right. Well, think of this deep dive as us cracking that code together, because you've brought in some Arabic safety documents all about preventing falls in construction. I got to admit, I'm pretty curious about this one.
Yeah, it's fascinating how safety, especially when you think about like the laws of physics and how vulnerable we are as humans, it kind of goes beyond language,
Yeah, gravity doesn't care what language you speak.
Not one bit.
And speaking of universal truths, these documents, they don't mess around, they get straight to the point. They start off with this stat. It says over 100,000 workers injured annually from falls. Like, that's a whole city, an entire city worth of people getting hurt. It really hits home like, wow, this is serious.
Yeah, and sadly, it's not just injuries. The source, it highlights that about 200 workers in the Arab region alone, they actually lose their lives each year because of falls. It's a powerful reminder that we're not just talking about numbers here. It's about real people.
Yeah.
And the impact, the devastating impact these events can have.
For sure, yeah. It's a sobering thought. But the good news is, and they emphasize this in the documents, the majority of these accidents, preventable.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's huge, because it means we can do something.
Absolutely. It shifts the perspective from, oh, this is scary, we can't do anything about it, to, well, we actually have the power to make a difference.
Exactly. And it seems like these documents are serious about taking those steps, because I noticed they even cite specific U.S. regulations.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 29 CFR 1926.500 through 1926.503 to be exact.
Wow.
Which, for anyone who doesn't have those memorized,
Right.
those regulations, they specifically address fall protection.
Okay.
So that kind of speaks volumes to me about how universally important this is.
It really does. It's a testament to how global these workplace safety standards have become. Even though they might come from the U.S., these specific regulations are clearly recognized and used in other parts of the world, which just shows how committed everyone is globally to protecting workers.
Exactly. So whether you're, on a construction site every day or, like me, just trying to stay in the loop, this is relevant stuff. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty, yeah. The document outlines several different fall protection systems. It's like a safety toolbox for working at heights.
I like that. A safety toolbox. You've got your guardrails. Those are essential. Then there's personal fall arrest systems, positioning systems, safety nets, the classics, and even something as simple as warning lines. They each have their own purpose, like different tools in that toolbox, all working together to prevent falls.
Okay, I am ready to open up this toolbox and take a closer look. Okay, so guardrails. They're like the MVPs of safety, right? Always there to keep us from, taking a tumble. But I'm looking at these diagrams and these documents, and the level of detail about guardrails is, wow, they get specific. Like, did you know the top rail has to be exactly 42 inches high?
42 inches, yeah. And you know what? There's a reason for that. It's not just a random number they pulled out of a hat. That height, it's all carefully calculated. It's high enough to actually stop someone from going over. But it also takes into account things like, average reach, center of gravity.
So they're really thinking about all the ways a person could, trip or lean and just go right over.
Exactly. All those awkward ways we can move, it's all considered. And it doesn't stop there. The document, it also talks about the vertical supports for the guardrail. They can't be more than 8 feet apart.
8 feet. Okay. Why that number? I'm guessing it's not just like a random rule.
You got it. It's all about finding that balance, right? Yeah. You need enough support so the guardrail itself is strong. But if the supports are too close together, it becomes like a ladder, something easy to climb. 8 feet, that's that sweet spot.
It's amazing how much thought goes into something as, seemingly basic as a guardrail. It's like a good reminder that safety is in the details.
It really is.
Yeah.
But let's say, even with all the precautions, a fall happens. That's where those personal fall arrest systems come in. Those are, how do I put it, a little more, but more action movie.
Right. It's like the hero's already falling, but they pull that cord at the last second. And speaking of which, this illustration, it shows a worker before and after a fall, and they're attached to this anchor point by a 6-foot lanyard. That's kind of scary to picture, honestly.
It makes you think. But that's exactly what these systems are designed to do, catch you if you fall. That 6-foot lanyard, that's key. It has a built-in shock absorber, so when a fall happens, the lanyard extends. It adds about 3.5 feet.
So it's not a sudden stop.
Right. that sudden stop, that's what you want to avoid. It's more of a controlled deceleration, which makes a huge difference when it comes to impact.
Okay, that makes sense. Less force on the body, less chance of injury.
Exactly. And then to add another layer of safety, there's the 3-foot safety factor. That's the clearance you need below the worker.
So it's like a buffer zone, just in case.
Exactly. Even with the fall arrest system doing its thing, you don't want the worker hitting the ground or anything else on the way down. That extra space, it can make all the difference.
Wow, so that's why they always say to have clearance below. It's like a safety net within a safety net. Okay, that's seriously clever. Then speaking of safety nets, those are up next on our list of fall protection systems.
Ah, yes, the safety net. They're like the ultimate backup plan. Might not be the most elegant solution, but, they can be pretty heavy duty. They have to be.
Safety nets, they always seem kind of, dramatic, like something out of a movie.
Yeah, a bit over the top. You don't see them every day, that's for sure. But, hey, I bet if you ever needed one, you'd be pretty happy it was there.
No doubt. It's reassuring to know there's something there to catch you, just in case.
Exactly. It's all about that peace of mind.
And these documents, they're serious about safety net testing, like really serious. They even talk about, get this, dropping a 230-pound bag from 15 feet to make sure the net can handle it.
Wow. 230 pounds.
Yeah.
That's pretty specific.
Right. Like, how do they even come up with that number? And do they, have a designated bag dropper on staff?
Maybe they have a whole team of them. But you know what? It makes sense when you think about it. That weight, that height, they're not just picking random numbers. It's all calculated to simulate what would happen if a real person fell. They got to make sure those nets can handle the worst case scenario.
Yeah. Better a test bag than a real person, right?
Exactly.
So all about that real world accuracy. It's amazing how much science and engineering goes into something as seemingly simple as a net.
Oh, for sure. Speaking of which, these documents, they get into all the details about positioning those nets too, like exactly where they need to be. Did you know the distance changes depending on whether or not the edge is protected?
Wait, really? So there are safety zones even around the safety net?
Exactly. It's all about minimizing that fall distance as much as possible. So if there's already something there, like a guardrail or another fall protection system, then the net should be no closer than 6 feet from the edge.
Okay, so that gives workers some space to move around. They're not bumping into the net constantly.
Right. But if the edge is completely open, no protection at all, then the net needs to be a lot closer, like no further than 34 feet. And the maximum distance they mention is 39 feet.
So they're really trying to fine tune that safety zone.
Exactly. Every foot counts when it comes to reducing impact and preventing those injuries.
Makes you wonder though, right? How do they make sure those nets stay put? On a busy construction site, things are always moving, People are focused on their tasks. How do you make sure that safety net doesn't accidentally get moved out of place?
Great question. And it highlights something really important. Having the equipment is only half the battle. It's got to be in the right place at the right time to actually work.
Right.
That's where things like communication come in,
Mm-hmm.
Regular checks, making sure everyone on site knows where those nets are supposed to be.
So it's like a team effort.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've talked about those guardrails, those personal fall arrest systems, and those safety nets. Up next, something a little different. Warning lines. What do you think?
More warning lines. Honestly, they seem kind of low-tech compared to everything else we've discussed. Are they really enough?
Never underestimate the power of a visual cue. Picture this. You're on a construction site, things are busy, you're focused on your task, maybe walking backward, and then you see it. That bright line on the ground, impossible to miss. Could be all it takes for someone to catch themselves. That, whoa, almost went too far moment.
Okay, so it's more about awareness than actually physically stopping a fall.
Exactly. Think of it like a little mental nudge.
Yeah.
Reminding people to be careful, be aware of their surroundings. And these documents, they even get into specifics about the lines themselves. They can't just be any old string. They have to be sturdy, visible.
Durable enough for a construction site.
Exactly. Okay, and for our final tool in the Seiki toolbox, we have tow boards.
Tow boards. Those were a new one for me, I'll admit. I had to do a little research.
They're not as exciting as a safety net, maybe.
Yeah.
But they have a crucial role.
Yeah.
Basically, picture a little fence running along the edge of a platform or scaffolding. Anything that falls, tools, materials, whatever, the tow board's there to stop it.
So it's about preventing those oops moments that could turn dangerous.
Exactly. A dropped hammer might not seem like a big deal until it's falling 10 stories.
Right.
And it's not just about the object itself. Imagine a worker They see something rolling towards the edge. Their instinct is to grab it. Tow boards? They take away that split-second decision where someone might put themselves at risk trying to prevent something from falling.
So many layers of safety.
Exactly. And, it brings us to the main point these documents are driving home. This idea that fall protection, it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. It's about having multiple layers of protection, from the big stuff like guardrails to the smaller details like tow boards.
It's about having all those safety measures in place and making sure people actually use them.
Right.
Not just like checking a box, but actually creating a culture of safety. You know what I mean?
Right. 100%. It's about understanding that we can't eliminate every single risk, but we can definitely minimize them. And that starts with planning, with training, and with everyone on that site being aware and looking out for each other.
Well said. Well said. And on that note, listeners, we've come to the end of our deep dive into fall protection in construction. We started with some Arabic documents, and I don't know about you, but I learned a lot. It's a good reminder that even though we might speak different languages, keeping people safe, that's something we can all agree on.
Absolutely. Sometimes those most important messages, they're the ones that remind us we're all in this together.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So until next time, stay curious, keep asking questions, and let's all do our part to build a safer world, one deep dive at a time.
Thanks for sticking with us until the end of this episode. We really appreciate you taking the time to listen and engage with our content. If you found value in what you heard today, please don't forget to hit that like button. It helps us reach more people and lets us know we're on the right track. And if you haven't already, make sure to follow our channel so you never miss an upcoming episode. We've got some great topics lined up that you won't want to miss. Lastly, if you know someone who could benefit from this information, why not share the video with them? Spread the knowledge and help your colleagues stay informed. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode.